Hello, hello, hello. Right, welcome to Tea, Treat and Travel with me. Just checking Facebook to see if I've gone live. Because last week I did a total mess up on it, didn't I? Can't even get on my Facebook. And I cannot see myself live. So it looks like I've done another mess up on it. Interesting. Usually this is pretty good. When it goes live, it shows up quite quickly. No, can't see myself. I have to switch off and try again. But I am live on LinkedIn. How interesting. I'm not live on Facebook. Right. I don't know. Honestly, do not know what Facebook is playing at. Oh, now I can see myself. Hooray. I do apologise for that. So, like I said, welcome to Tea, Treat and Travel with me. Have you got your cup of tea ready? I've got my tea. So, whether you're watching live or on replay, just let me know where you're watching from and go make yourself a nice cup of tea. I do have a treat. It's in this bag. Some of you might recognize the company the bag's from. We're going to have a chat about that in a bit. So, what I want to ask you today is, how much do you think an exclusive travel club membership should cost or does cost? So when I joined, we had one U trip and you had to wait to accumulate all your points for a year before you can have a getaway. And we thought that was amazing. We also had the, what's it called? I'm not very well today. We also had the, I have a mental breakdown here, I think. Wholesale price, sorry. As you can see, this was not rehearsed. We also have wholesale prices, which are amazing in itself. So when we joined back in 2019, we thought that was amazing and we were happy with what we had. Now, that was back then. And the reason I'm talking about that is because we had something come up on Facebook today showing us the very first event we had. I believe it was in Birmingham. I can't remember now, or Stratford or something like that. We had our very first event and the CEO, David Hart, came and we were just blown away by everything. So move forward. We're now in 2026 and wow, how many changes has there been? We don't have a U trip anymore. That's gone. Instead of a U trip, we have world tours. And when they first started, it was, 1 or 2 a month from March to November. Now it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 a month throughout the whole year. And Mr. Hart was talking yesterday, and he was saying these are just going to keep increasing and increasing and increasing. The world tours are just amazing. So, what do you think a price of a membership like this should cost? If I said to you, now go back to this sign here. I'm sure most of you recognize what company I bought that from. If I said to you, for the price of a large coffee a day, you could have the top tier membership with our travel club, what would you say to that? It's not a lot, is it? So the price of a nice, well, for me, it wouldn't be a coffee because I don't like coffee. For me, it's usually hot chocolate with cream and marshmallows. But it could be a cup of tea or a coffee or whatever from, I'm not going to name the brand, which I nearly did then, from one of those coffee shops that you know way too well, down the high street. A coffee a day, that's what it costs for the top tier membership. So I'll just tell you about 2 examples. One, using the wholesale site. Now I remembered what it's called now. The wholesale site was when I went to London. So the very first time I used the wholesale site, my friend Shell and I went to London. Excuse me, to London for the weekend. And we went to go and support another friend, Claire, who was doing an event with her wellness company. So we went there. I booked the hotel and I saved £120 in a beautiful hotel in London for the weekend for the 2 of us, which also included breakfast. So £120 compared to the usual sites like Expedia, Booking.com, you know, the ones, the usual sites. So I saved £120 on that. We also did a Jazz River Cruise trip. That was amazing. That was really fun. But what made me laugh was you had the big sign saying sail on, sail on. And their sale price was more expensive than our normal back office price. So you can do boat cruises, you can do spa days, loads of things in our back office that are wholesale prices. They'll be cheaper than you can get on the usual sites. I don't want to keep naming them, but you know who I'm talking about. So that was my first time, and I was like, wow. Since then, I use it all the time to book anything. If I'm going away for the night, if I'm going away for the weekend, I'll use my back office to just book something. The second trip, that was my getaway, my very, very first getaway. I went to Spain, again with Shell. She's always been my partner in crime. So we went to Spain, and the funny thing was, Shell doesn't like flying, which is why we picked Spain, because it was a short flight. She nearly broke my hand on the plane going out there. She had it so tightly squeezed. And I'm like, okay, we're now safe. It's okay. So she let go of my hand. And I was thinking, ow. But got to Spain. I'd booked the driver, the taxi through our back office as well. And we got to the hotel. Shell was looking up and down at this hotel going, are you sure we're in the right place? Is this definitely the hotel we're staying at? Because I only paid, if I remember correctly, £89. I think it was like $120 or something like that for a spa hotel for 1 week for the 2 of us. and she actually stood by the door with the suitcases just in case we had to do a quick let's get out of here. So she wasn't convinced I was in the right hotel, and she's had me nervous. I'm like, oh my god, maybe she's right, maybe we are in the wrong place. So I got to reception and I'm like, excuse me, I'm here to check in. My name's Mahmuda Hill. And they're like, oh, welcome, Mrs. Hill. Nice to have you here. And because you're a member, you also get 10% discount on your spa that you use here, your shopping in the shops here, the restaurants here, the ice cream parlor here. Anything that's on site, you get 10% discount. So it's like, wow, okay, fine. That was something like, Shell, come over, it's safe, it's okay. So Shell came over, we went up in this lift that was like a glass lift, so you could see all around. And again, Shell didn't like that very much to start off with. She was okay by the end of the week, but the first time she was like, we're going to fall through. But that was quite a lovely hotel. It was a great experience. And for the first getaway for me to do, it was a bit of a scary thing to do because it was not in the same country. So it's not like I could just hop back in the car and come back. It was abroad. Okay, not far, but it was still abroad. And here in the UK, we'd only just had this company to use for about a year. So we'd just about managed to get our points sorted so we could go on this getaway, but nobody had used it yet. So yes, we'd heard all the, all the corporate, yes, it's brilliant, whatever. But we hadn't experienced it ourselves. So when I went out there and I experienced this, it was like, wow, this is real. This is for absolute 100%, not a lie anywhere, for real. And it was just amazing. We had such a good time. And at that point, I hadn't spoken to Shell at all about the business, never told her a thing about it. She just knew that I was in a travel club. And she was absolutely gobsmacked. But to be fair, so was I, because like I said, nobody had used it. We were still brand new to the company. We hadn't experienced it from our side of the big pond. So yes, the Americans had told us how good it was, but we personally hadn't seen the membership value. And now we have. So after all these years, we know what we're talking about. We know how good the value is. We know how amazing the community is. So I joined for my own travel, mainly because I found travel was a healing experience for me. So after my husband died, it was something that I needed to do to make them happy, to keep me sane, to give us some joy and enjoyment, fun out of life, and to have some meaning to life, to have something to look forward to. So travel was very important. It wasn't a luxury for me, it was a necessity. So that was just my first experience. And since then, I've had so many wonderful experiences, which I will tell you about in different episodes. Like I said earlier, I'm not very well today, so I'm going to keep this quite short. So if this has intrigued you and you're open to seeing how this actually works, message me travel, and I can invite you to be my VIP guest tomorrow night on our private Zoom at 8:30 with the Dragonfly Voyages. And that's the UK time, sorry, 8:30 UK time. And I'd just like to say thank you for being here. Life is short, and I know that way too well. And travel brings healing. I'm grateful for the journey. I will see you all soon. Bye for now.